Welcome to the Copperfield Electric podcast. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something huge happening right now, electric vehicles. Adoption is really taking off, especially here in Orange County.
It really is. You see them everywhere now.
Exactly. And our mission today, it's to get past the hype about EV savings and look at the actual evidence. We want to show you the numbers, the proof that the biggest fuel savings, particularly if you drive a Tesla, don't just come from buying the car.
Right. It comes after you install a level 2 charger at home.
That's the key moment.
Yeah. And look, everyone talks about EVs saving money, but it's more nuanced than that. It really depends on how you charge. So this deep dive, we're aiming to give you the specifics, the financial advantage you get by ditching public superchargers, mostly, and just plugging in at your own place. It's cheaper, it's faster, and honestly, it just fits into your life better.
And since we're talking practical stuff here in Southern California, we should mention who's helping us get grounded in the local details. Copperfield Electric. They're a family-owned, 24-hour electrician right here in Orange County. They handle all the usual electrical work, but they also specialized in EV charger installations. Dealing with the permits, the panel upgrades, all that local know-how.
Essential for this kind of project.
Okay, so let's start with the bottom line, the money. We found this great example, a Tesla owner who actually tracked their costs before and after getting a home charger. And the savings, they're pretty eye-opening.
Oh, yeah, this was fascinating. It's one thing to talk averages, another to see real numbers from someone's budget. This TikTok creator at A Shane laid it all out.
What did they find?
Okay, so before the home charger, when they were relying only on Tesla Superchargers for, their regular driving needs.
Which can be convenient, but maybe not cheap.
Exactly. They were spending about $80 a month just on charging.
$80. Now, even that's probably better than gas for most people around here, especially with California prices.
Definitely an improvement over the pump. But here's the kicker. That $80 got slashed almost in half once they started charging at home.
Wow. How did that work out on the bill?
Well, they showed their actual electricity bill. The whole thing, house, car, everything. It went from about $115 a month up to $174.
So wait, the increase was only $59.
Just $59 extra on their total bill to cover all their driving fuel. That's like a 25% cut in their car's fueling cost just by switching where they plugged in.
That's really significant, especially when you think, what's the average American spending on gas? Maybe $130, $160, sometimes $200 a month.
Easily.
So dropping your fuel cost under $60 a month, that totally changes the game for long-term EV ownership.
And look, this isn't just some fluke one lucky person. Our data backs this up. Home charging consistently lets EV owners cut their fuel costs by up to 50% compared to relying on public DC fast chargers.
Okay, so why is it so much cheaper at home? What's the mechanism there?
It really comes down to how utilities price electricity, especially here in Southern California. You have to understand time of use rates.
Right, TOU rates. That's something people might see on their bill but not fully grasp. What does that mean for someone living in, say, Irvine or Anaheim?
Time of use, or TOU, it's pretty simple in concept. The price you pay for electricity changes depending on when you use it.
Okay.
So Southern California Edison and the local providers like Orange County Power Authority, they structure rates to discourage using a ton of power when demand is highest. That's usually late afternoon, early evening, think 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
That's when everyone gets home, turns on the AC, starts cooking.
Exactly. During those peak hours, the rates can jump way up. Sometimes, 45 cents, even 35 cents, even 50 cents per kilowatt hour.
And 50 cents a kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like what you might pay at a public fast charger, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's a busy time.
Precisely. Public chargers often charge a premium for the speed and convenience, putting them right in that peak price range, or sometimes even higher depending on the network.
Okay.
But when you install a level 2 charger at home, which is basically just a faster dedicated 240-volt outlet, much quicker than your regular wall plug.
Right, the one that takes forever.
Yeah, forget level 1 for daily driving. With level 2, you get control. You can program your car or the charger itself to only draw power during the cheapest off-peak hours.
And when are those usually?
Typically late at night, after 9 or 10 p.m., running overnight until maybe 8 a.m., something like that. Depends on your specific plan.
And the price difference is significant.
Huge. During those off-peak times, your electricity costs can drop down to maybe $0.22 per kilowatt hour, sometimes even lower on special EV rates.
Wow. So compare that, 35 cents or 50 cents at peak or a public charger versus maybe $3.22 overnight in your garage.
We see. you're immediately cutting your fuel costs by more than half. And that lines up perfectly with that $59 extra monthly cost we saw in the example. That's the math.
That really does make the financial side crystal clear. But okay, let me throw a curveball. Orange County summers. AC running like crazy during the day. Doesn't that high daytime usage mess up the savings you get charging the car at night? Does the overall bill spike erase the EV savings?
That's a really practical question because, yeah, summer bills can be scary.
Right.
But the great thing about a properly installed level 2 charger on its own circuit is that its usage is pretty isolated and predictable. Yes, your total bill will go up in August because of the air conditioning hammering away during peak hours, but the cost for charging the car itself remains low as long as you stick to that overnight off-peak schedule. The car doesn't care if the AC ran all day, it just draws power at that cheap $0.22 rate or whatever it is while you sleep.
Ah, okay. So the percentage saved on car fuel stays consistent. You're still saving 50% or more compared to if you were using public chargers, even if the total household bill fluctuates seasonally.
Exactly. The savings on the driving portion are locked in by that off-peak rate.
Okay, that makes sense. But, this is where I think it gets even more compelling. The savings aren't just dollars and cents. It's about time. And for anyone commuting on the 405 or the 405, time is, well, it's everything.
Time is absolutely currency here, no question. And the traffic, the stress, it adds up. That same Tesla owner at Inchains, he calculated he saves about 45 minutes every single week by charging at home.
45 minutes. That might not sound like a ton at first glance.
But think about what that 45 minutes is. It's not 45 minutes less charging time. It's 45 minutes you don't spend driving out of your way to find a supercharger.
Right. Hunting for one, maybe waiting in line if it's busy.
Waiting for it to charge enough, then driving back home or correcting your route. It's basically cutting out a whole errand from your week, every week.
Yeah, it becomes invisible. You just plug in when you get home, like your phone.
Precisely. You park, you plug in, you go inside, you wake up, it's full every single morning. That kind of daily convenience, it totally maximizes why you bought an EV in the first place. Range anxiety. Forget about it. Planning trips around charging stops for your daily commute, gone.
So if we zoom out a bit, connect this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's more than just making daily life easier or avoiding traffic jams. This actually starts affecting your home, your property.
Oh, absolutely. We know how competitive the Orange County real estate market is. And buyers, especially younger buyers, are increasingly looking for homes that are, ready for the future. Eco-conscious features are a plus.
So an EV charger adds value.
Definitely. It's seen as a modern, eco-friendly upgrade. It signals that the house is turnkey, ready for modern needs. It can genuinely enhance your home's appeal and potentially its value.
And then there's the ultimate setup of the thing California really encourages, pairing that home charger with solar panels.
Ah, now you're talking. That's where things get really interesting financially.
How so? Because the rules changed recently, right? With NEM 3.0.
They did. California's net energy metering rules, NEM 3.0, changed the economics of selling excess solar power back to the grid. It's generally less profitable now to export power. But that actually makes self-consumption using the power you generate yourself even more valuable. So generating solar power during the day.
And using it to charge your car overnight. Wait, how does that work?
Well, you're not directly using the daytime sun to charge at night, but think of it like this. The solar power you generate during the day offsets your overall energy usage, potentially earning you credits or drastically reducing what you pull from the grid during expensive peak hours. Then, you still charge your car at the super cheap off-peak rates overnight.
Ah, I see. So the solar reduces your overall bill, making the already cheap overnight EV charging feel almost free.
Pretty much. Or if you invest in a home battery storage system along with solar, you can store that daytime solar energy and use it to charge the car directly at night, potentially getting off the grid entirely for your transportation fuel.
Okay, now that's moving towards energy independence.
It really is. You're effectively generating your own clean fuel at home. You insulate yourself from rising utility rates, you maximize the EV's eco-benefits, and you turn your home into this personal energy hub. It's an investment in your whole energy future, not just the car.
Okay, we've really laid out the benefits. Huge savings on money, huge savings on time, potential home value increase, the solar synergy. It sounds like a no-brainer.
It does on paper.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
Yeah.
We have to talk about the elephant in the garage, or maybe the elephant not yet in the garage. The installation itself. It's not always simple, And it's definitely not free up front.
That's the hurdle. This is where people hear about the savings, get excited, and then kind of freeze when they think about the actual process and cost.
Right, because if you have to spend, I don't know, thousands of dollars just to get the charger installed, that payoff period gets a lot longer.
It does, and that's why meticulous planning is key for homeowners here in Orange County. There are really three main things you absolutely need to consider.
Okay, let's break them down. What's number one? The big technical piece.
Number one, your home's existing electrical capacity. Can it actually handle a level 2 charger?
What does a level 2 charger actually need, electrically speaking?
Well, it needs a dedicated 240-volt circuit. That's the same voltage as like an electric clothes dryer or a big stove.
Okay.
And for the most common chargers people install, think the Tesla wall connector, or just putting in a NEMA 1450 outlet, which a lot of mobile chargers use. You typically need a dedicated 40 amp or more often a 50 amp breaker just for the charger.
50 amps. That sounds like a lot of power.
It's a significant electrical load, especially if it's running for hours overnight.
So let's say I live in an older house in, I don't know, Santa Ana or Costa Mesa, built maybe in the 70s or 80s. My main electrical panel might only be 100 amps for the whole house. Is that going to be a problem?
It very likely could be. That's often the hidden costs people don't anticipate. A 100 amp panel might already be working pretty hard, especially in the summer, running the AC, the fridge, lights, maybe an electric water heater.
Yeah, all the usual stuff.
Yeah. Trying to add a brand new continuous 50 amp load onto an already stressed 100 amp panel, it's risky. You might constantly trip breakers. Or worse, if the panel and wiring aren't up to handling that sustained draw, it could even be a safety hazard, potentially overheating.
So what's the solution then? You can't just squeeze it in.
Often the only safe and reliable solution is a full electrical panel upgrade, moving from that older 100 amp panel up to a modern 200 amp panel.
Okay, so a panel upgrade might be necessary before you even get the charger installed. That sounds like a bigger job.
It is a bigger job, and it adds to the upfront cost. That's the reality for a lot of older housing stock around here. This is why step one, before anything else, is getting a licensed electrician out to actually look at your panel, measure your current load, and tell you honestly if your system is ready or if you need that upgrade.
And that's something Copperfield Electric does, that assessment.
Absolutely. They help homeowners figure out exactly what's needed, whether it's just running a new circuit or if it requires that full electrical panel upgrade or even a replacement.
Okay, so assessing the panel is number one. What's the second critical thing?
Permits and safety. This isn't like plugging in a toaster oven.
Right. High voltage.
Exactly.
Right.
Installing a 240-volt high amperage circuit has to be done correctly, 100% according to the electrical code. And here in Orange County, the city or county building departments require permits for this kind of work.
Why the permits? Is it just bureaucracy?
It's really about safety and accountability. The permit process ensures the work is done by a qualified, licensed electrician, and it triggers inspections by the city or county inspector to verify everything is installed correctly, grounded properly, and safe.
Okay, so it protects the homeowner.
Yes, and it protects your investment, ensures your homeowner's insurance will cover everything related to it. Skipping permits to save a few bucks is, well, it's incredibly risky. Copperfield handles all that, navigating the local permit requirements, scheduling inspections, making sure it's all by the book.
Good to know. Okay, so assess the panel, get the permits for a safe install. What's the third piece?
The third piece is about softening that upfront cost. Local rebates and incentives.
Ah, the money part again. But this time, money coming back to you.
Exactly. This can make a huge difference, especially if you do need that panel upgrade. Orange County residents should immediately look into programs offered by Southern California Edison.
SCE has EV charger rebates.
Often, yes. And depending on where you live specifically, your local community choice aggregator, like the Orange County Power Authority, might have additional programs. These rebates can sometimes be several $100s, directly offsetting the cost of the charger or the installation labor.
So it pays to do your homework on those.
Absolutely. It can significantly shorten that payback period we talked about.
And this seems like another area where having a knowledgeable local electrician helps, right? They probably know which rebates are available.
A good local company like Copperfield stays on top of those programs and can often help you with the application process, making sure you get all the financial assistance you're eligible for.
Okay, so that really clarifies the practical steps. It's not just plug and play, but it's manageable with the right expertise.
Right. Their whole service is designed around this. They do the initial checkup, handle the electrical panel upgrades and replacements if needed, and then do the final EV charger installation, whether it's for a house or even a local business.
And you mentioned they're local to Orange County. Where exactly do they operate?
Pretty much the whole county. They're a 24-hour electrician, which is great, serving areas like Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, down to Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Mission Viejo. Basically, all the major hubs.
That 24-hour availability is key, too, especially if something goes wrong.
For sure. And you want professionals for this licensed, bonded, insured, background check technicians. Plus, they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee, which gives you peace of mind when you're dealing with your home's main power system.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. We've covered a lot, from the TikTok example to TOU rates to panel upgrades. What's the main takeaway here?
I think the core message is pretty clear.
Yep.
If you own an EV or you're thinking about getting one, installing a level 2 charger at home is probably the single best investment you can make after buying the car. It really unlocks the biggest savings.
We're talking potentially cutting your fueling costs by 50% or more compared to public charging.
Easily. Plus, you save a ton of time and hassle every single week. And you're adding a tangible asset to your home.
So it pays back in money, time, and maybe even property value.
Which actually brings up the final thought, kind of a bigger question for you, the homeowner, to chew on.
Okay.
When you decide to invest in a home EV charger installation, especially if it involves upgrading your panel, you're not just buying cheaper fuel for today's car.
What else are you doing?
You're fundamentally future-proofing your home's electrical infrastructure. You're preparing it for, well, whatever comes next. Maybe it's the next generation of smart home tech. Maybe it's adding battery storage later. Maybe it's simply making your house more attractive to future buyers who expect these modern conveniences.
So it's about capacity for the future.
Exactly. It's an investment in your home's readiness for the next wave of energy demands and technologies. It gives you control, convenience, and makes your property more resilient and marketable down the road.
That's a powerful way to look at it. Not just a car charger, but an infrastructure upgrade. So if you're an Orange County homeowner and you're tired of paying peak rates at Superchargers or planning your day around charging stops,
and you're ready to start saving maybe 50% on your driving costs,
then getting that home installation done seems like the next logical step. And Copperfield Electric is right here, the local, trusted 24-hour electrician ready to help with the assessment, any needed panel upgrades, the installation itself, and even navigating those rebates across Orange County.